What's up, everybody? Welcome to the High Level Husband Podcast. I'm Tommy McCollister, joined by my beautiful wife, Diane McCollister.
Hey.
When I say that, I mean it, babe. I'm not trying to say that because we have people listening, and I want people to think, "Oh, he loves his wife."
I know you tell me often.
I do tell you often. So, guys, what we're going to get into right here is like a podcast on a talk that we had yesterday when we were on a walk. You know, as you guys know, we value quality time over anything else. I mean, obviously quality time with God first and foremost, but then quality time with me and Diane secondly. And because of that, we go on a walk every single night, as you guys know. And if you have the first time listening to this podcast, we go on a walk every single night, whether it's 110 out or it's cold and freezing and you got scarves and all these other beanies and everything on. We go on this walk to connect every night. And honestly, it's probably one of my favorite things that we do.
Absolutely.
And then on Sundays, because it's Sabbath, we do too. We'll go on a walk in the middle of the day together, which is probably my favorite walk. Because we have no time limit or anything like that. We just go and we just see what happens. We've been in church that morning and whatnot. So anyways, guys, this whole right here is based off of our conversation yesterday. And I promise you guys, when you give each other quality time like that, the conversations that will happen, the spirit that happens between me and you on those conversations are wild, right? Like our conversation yesterday was insane, and God just kept dropping gems on us left and right. And it was just like, whoa, what are you doing right now, Spirit? But that only happens because we're together. But then that also allows us to move together too as one. So you know everything about me. I know everything about you. And then the visions and the Spirit hitting me is also hitting you at the same time. So guess what? We're walking in the same direction, literally in that moment, but for life because of that in those aspects.
Yeah. And we talked about the same topic the whole time yesterday. And we probably went on like, I don't know, a 40-minute walk.
At least.
So.
At least that. And so we're going to talk about that topic here in a second. But before we get to it, I just want to share a quick little story. It might be TMI for some people, but it is what it is. Sabbath, you know, we have a very healthy, lovemaking life. But at the same time, and I like to put metrics out there and things like this so people understand. So when I say that, for some people that means people could hear that and be like, oh, we make love once or twice a month. For some people might hear that and they go, oh, they probably have sex 7 times a week. I like to be able to clarify that is individualized for couples, but it's like we found our sweet spot for what works well for both of us, not just one, both of us. And so we probably make love 3 times a week, I would say, on average.
Probably.
You know, sometimes, you know, depending on things, it might be a little bit more. And sometimes, depending on certain things, it might only be twice. But I would say the average is 3. And that works out, I think, best for myself and for you.
Yeah.
But we were hanging out yesterday. We had gone to church, and I don't really watch sports that much anymore, but I'm a Buffalo Bills fan, so I watch all their games. I came back, watched the game. You sat with me and ate your food and watched the game for a while. You're not a big football fan, but anyway, she was sitting there, and then she was making the kids lunch, and I made a couple provocative comments to her, maybe inappropriately touched her. I don't want to say inappropriately, probably to you appropriately. And anyways, and so I said in that moment, I was like, how about we go, you know, I can't remember what we said about like going upstairs and, you know, whatever happened, you know, we were moving in that direction.
He was hitting on me.
And she was like, let's go. She's like, all right, let's go upstairs, you know, like, let's go make this happen. And then I said, nah, I said, babe, I said, to be real with you, my heart just wants to go on a walk with you right now. Let's just go do that. And if we have time, we'll make it to that. But I really just want to go have this walk right now and just let this be the main priority rather than that, and have that be secondary. And speaking that, I'll just be real with you guys. Physical intimacy does not hold a candle to emotional or spiritual intimacy. And once you've experienced like such closeness with God and be able to do that with your spouse, sex is amazing. Don't get me wrong. It's phenomenal. It gets better as we get older, but it does not hold a candle to the spiritual and emotional intimacy that happens between me and you. That literally is the cherry on top, where so many couples get it backwards, where guys are saying, well, physical is my love language. Bro, you've just never experienced emotional or spiritual at the deepest of levels. And I promise you, that's a worldly made up thing, the 5 love languages. I promise you, they matter because of where your life is at. Just the same way attachment theories and all of that are all made up. They're real because of what people have spoken over you, and you haven't experienced anything else. Just why people have never experienced God don't believe in him, or believers who have never really encountered God or fully surrendered life with him are just believers and not followers. They just go to church on Sunday. When you experience spiritual and emotional at such high levels, I promise you the physical will get better, but it still will never hold a candle to that. And so we went on this walk. Yes, we still had the physical later in the day, but we went on this walk and it was an amazing, amazing talk. So I don't know if you just want to jump in on that before we talk about what we talked about on the talk, which is basically the whole point of this podcast.
Right. Yeah. No, you're completely right on what you were saying though, because I never, when we were younger and stuff, we didn't have the relationship we have now. So we didn't have conversations like that. So more was about like the physical stuff, when we were younger. But nothing compares to like these conversations that we have on our walks and how intimate we can be with conversations. And doesn't also have to be physical. It's absolutely amazing. And you're 100% spot on with what you said.
Right. And I mean, I think just from speaking from a wife's perspective, and I think you said it perfectly there. We never had it before. And so a lot of guys say, well, that's how I feel loved. No, that's just the only way you know how to feel loved.
Yeah.
Because you haven't experienced it yet, right? Just like I never knew I could podcast. I never knew I could speak on stages. I was literally the shyest kid in my high school and even into my early 20s and things like that, super shy. So how can I be doing this on a massive platforms now to be able to do this if I'm shy? Because I just hadn't experienced it. God hadn't got me to that spot yet. You just haven't put in the time. I hadn't put in the time and effort to develop these skills, which took 20 years for God to develop in me.
Yeah.
And that it's going to take time for you to develop in that in your marriage, but that's why it should get better and better and better. But if you're not taking time to develop them, you're going to stay just doing the things that you're doing and nothing ever it changes. I said this, I think I said on the last podcast, if you want to grow, you need to do three things. Stop doing what is not working, continue doing what is working, and start doing new things that will help you grow. Now you have to test those out. Some of them might stay, some of them might not. Yeah. But if you just keep doing the things the way they are, you're dying.
Yeah.
And so we would have intimacy probably, I'd say 1 to 2 times in that period of our life for majority of the first 14 years of our marriage.
You think so? You think that's it?
Yeah, I think so. Probably 1 to 2 times, probably more. Maybe let's just say 2, but still that was like what we considered good connection.
Right. Yeah. And we weren't having any other kind of connection really,
We would sit on the couch and watch TV together.
Yeah.
We would go to the kids' soccer games together.
Yeah. But no conversation.
Right. We would eat dinner as a family together, but it still wasn't, we would go on a date together, but it wasn't connection, like real to becoming one, spiritual, emotional connection. That's a whole other podcast of what all that looks like. And so, but I just wanted to, from a woman's perspective, and guys, this isn't even what the podcast is about, but I think this is just where God's leading it.
Yeah.
I know for you, knowing that I wasn't like chomping at the bit to always just go put you in the sack and then go to emotional and spiritual afterwards. As a wife and a woman, how does that feel knowing? And I know already that that's not my main thing.
Absolutely.
You just know that.
Yes.
But it does reinforce it just the same way when God shows up for us in a new way or continually showing up for us. We still feel that love and go, oh, it's like reassuring.
Right. Well, I mean, as a woman, women, most people know this, women need emotional connection to get in, to be there for intimate sexual connection. Gosh, sorry, I can't talk here. And so having those conversations, going on these walks and making that a priority and then going to physical intimacy changes everything. And so I think a lot of guys are like, oh, my wife just doesn't have sex drive or whatever. Well, you're just not having conversation with her. You're not talking with her. You're not connecting with her in order to get her to that next level. Yeah.
Which is what we were talking about on the talk yesterday is that you were saying, I guess I'll just go straight into that. I wanted to touch on one thing, but you were saying, a lot of guys message us and things like that and just say, well, my wife's hormones or she's going through menopause and things like this. She doesn't want to have sex with me. She doesn't want to she just has a low sex drive, and basically say what you say. I mean, because I don't want to always.
Yeah. I mean, I basically said she doesn't have a low sex drive. She just has a low sex drive for you.
Which is the truth.
Yeah. I mean, and it's tough to hear, but I think so many times because you're not connecting, you've separated yourself so much that they're not attracted in that way because there's too much disconnect.
So much disconnect. And here's the thing. When we say that, she's just not disconnected with you, just attracted to you. Her sex drive's just not for you.
Right.
For some wives, that will be that she has it for somebody else. I will say majority, it's not that.
Yeah.
It's just that she just doesn't have it for you in general. So it does lower her down, lower her down. So just then she just doesn't have sex drive.
Right.
And so we were talking about this on the walk yesterday that like, whether you haven't gone through menopause yet, but we maybe do some premenopause, whatever, all those other stuff.
Yeah.
We've debunked this many of times. And with exactly what we're about to say is that because you know that I'm not just chomping at the bit, it's Sunday afternoon, I'm watching football, and I take you upstairs, we go to Pound Town, and then I come back down, I put on another football game, and I fall asleep taking a nap. That's all I care about with you.
Right.
And then I'm like, hey, what time are you making dinner and getting it on the table for me?
Right.
Like that's so many men, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you know my desire is so much deeper, so much more passionate about so many things. And then our walk, like I was fired. I'm on this walk, like I'm like getting after it. I'm like dropping sermons, the Spirit's hitting us. We're casting vision. We're talking like so much, like it's just so bonding that you know, like he doesn't care about that other thing. He just wants to spend time with me.
Absolutely.
Truly get to know me as an individual. And we get to do that on top of it. And so that's why your wife's not there is because you've never actually done it. And so my point with saying that is we talked about this. You said, even if menopause happens, and we've seen this with other men, like we'll be so connected on the spiritual and emotional because menopause does not in fact impact that. That I love you so much. We're connecting so deeply that I will just want to serve you in those ways as well.
Right.
I'm not like, oh, well, my area is dry during this time, or, well, it's just hormones. I'm not, no, you are so in love with me that we'll work that out, that you'll want to serve it. But then even on my side, the service of me is like, there's been times where like I've known you've wanted to serve me, but I know you're like super exhausted or something. And I didn't even ask to be like taken care of or anything. And I'm like, babe, don't even worry about it. And because of that, it makes you want me even more.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's something that when we get to that time, we'll work through it together. I mean, I have gone through like different hormonal things up and down a few times and stuff too. And we work through it. We talk about it. We have open conversation about it so we can help each other through these times. And that's what people are missing.
Yeah, and so then we were talking yesterday, guys, and it led, and this is still not what this is about. Maybe we're not even going to get to this conversation. So we were talking about just like how like connected we are, like it's just insane with the connection between us.
Yeah.
And I said, this is a light bulb moment for me, and I believe it's the Spirit. I said, babe, I think this is why women and possibly men, but I definitely think more on the women's side, go lesbian and men could go gay because women are looking for an emotional and spiritual connection, but definitely an emotional connection. If they're going to go gay, they probably don't have the spiritual connection because they would feel the conviction and not do it.
Right.
And so because of that, they're having these phenomenal conversations with a girlfriend. And I'm not even saying like a girlfriend, like a lover, like type girlfriend, but just like a friend, a girl who's a friend.
Yeah.
And they're having these emotional conversations. They're spending time.
They're
feel
connected. Yeah.
They're connecting because, as you guys hear me say, authenticity leads to vulnerability. Vulnerability leads to connection, and connection leads to love, right? And so they're being their authentic self because they're not worried about what their husband, because they can't do it with their husband because their husband won't open up. And so they feel like to be a certain way for their husband. So they're not authentic, but they can be that with a girl. And then because of that, they're being really, really vulnerable and honest. Because of that, it's leading to connection. And then the devil, what he does, he coming, wiggles his way and slowly creeps up in the grass, not paying attention, and drops a little idea in there. Maybe you're actually a lesbian. Do you feel that connection? You've never felt that with a man, have you? And then she goes, whoa, I haven't. My husband and I are not connected like this.
Yeah.
I've never been connected with this any of my other boyfriends either. Whoa, what's going on? And then the thought creeps,
right?
And then they build more emotional connection. Then they let the thought idea pop up. And the way the devil does, the Bible says, the flesh gives birth to flesh.
Right.
You entertain the idea. Maybe now you're on Instagram, you see another girl, you're like, maybe I am attracted to girls. And the next thing you know, you're with that person and the things, and you're holding, because women will be a little more touchy-feely, not like sexually, but they'll maybe hold it high in each other's arms or whatever, hold each other's hands, what they're doing. Next thing you know, the connection happens and it leads to that, whether it's with the girl in that moment that you open up to or somebody else. And then you go down that rabbit hole, all because of emotional connection in that. And it leads to that. And then I was like, dude, that is so true. I guarantee there's so many people and I've seen it with a lot of people. They've been hurt by their father. They've been hurt by ex-husbands or boyfriends, and they don't want nothing to do with men anymore. Right. And women are the only ones they feel safe around with. So they go that way. And
they confide in the women because that's their friends, and
Yes.
then they see something there and they're like, huh.
Right. Now, guys, you might be listening to this. I don't care how connected with them, dude. I ain't making out with no dude. I'm with you, bro. Like making out with a dude sounds like the most terrible thing in the world. Throw me in a wood chipper before you do that. Um,
That's how
but
I feel about the women thing too. But
but I say this, guys. You would think that.
we've known.
I know masculine
Yeah.
of the most masculine men who, when this happened for them, when flesh gave birth to flesh, it happened.
Yeah.
And it blew my mind.
Yeah.
But I've seen it. And this is why God has placed me in a spot to preach, because I've experienced it either myself in a lot of different, not that, but in other things, or been firsthand front row seat to it with other people, and then be able to work with people, men who've gone through this, to be able to share that it does. That's the greatest trick of the devil, is to think that you think you will never be susceptible to it. And it happens.
Yeah.
It happens.
Yeah.
The devil says he's waiting to kill, steal, and destroy.
Right.
And so he's waiting, and he will come and do things that you just never will get there. I've never done down that road, but there's been places in my time where I was like, how did I get here? And I was like complete 180 degrees the other direction.
Right.
And next thing you know, I was in the place where I was like, I can't believe I'm here. And so it's the same thing. But guys, it all starts with the spiritual and emotional connection. So we're out on this walk, and we're having these amazing conversations, and it kind of popped up into what we're going to talk about right now, which was, as a family, we have a pretty strict routine, but it works out really good. Our family's just getting tighter and tighter and tighter. And it's just really cool what's happening with our kids. And so we rotate through certain programs that we watch. Anyways, one of the things we like to watch is The Amazing Race. And so we were watching it the other night, and they went to this like swimming pool, outdoor tub thing, and they had to get into the water. And what was really cool was, so they had to get in their bathing suits to be able to get in.
Yeah.
Well, there's one particular sisters that are on the show, and I would say they're in their 30s, and one's probably a little earlier 30s, and the ones that's a little earlier 30s is an attractive woman.
Right. She's a girly girl, attractive, wears makeup. She's pretty.
Fit, all these other things.
Right, yeah.
Good personality, all that other stuff. She's attractive, right? And probably the most attractive one of them all. And I'm not saying that as like disrespecting my wife. This is just these things that I tell her in the moment. I think I paused it, and I told the kids too, what I'm about to tell you guys. And I said, and then what happened was, she gets in the she's walking out to the swimming pool, and she's got like almost like baggy shorts on over her bikini bottoms. She doesn't take them off. She still gets in the water with them, gets out. The other girls come out and they weren't wearing anything like thongs or anything that. Most of them, I think, were wearing like one-piece bikinis, one-piece like bathing suits, and got in. Now, it does accentuate the butt and things like this. And it's honestly, I've always been against the thong, but I've been like, I guess, okay with the bikini, like a normal like bikini thing with a full back.
Right.
But in that moment, just something hit my spirit, and I just had so much respect for her. I don't know if that's why she did it. I do believe she did do it for that reason, and God works all things together good, because here I am speaking to the masses about it now. And I just paused it, and I said, look at that. I go, that is so much respect. I go, in a secular world, the fallen world that we live in, if anybody would justify it, as like, she has a great body, I'm sure, right?
Right.
She could totally flaunt that.
Absolutely.
But what does she do? She covers it up, and doesn't even go even halfway.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's so much respect.
Yeah.
And so that night, when I was in my prayer and solitude with God, she popped up, and it was hitting my spirit. And I said, well, Diane doesn't wear the thongs or anything like that. But if we go to the swimming pool, you just wear like a regular bikini. And it's not skimpy or anything like that, but it's a bikini. And I thought to myself, when we went on the walk yesterday, I said, babe, this is what was hitting me after watching that last night. I said, I think from now on, you're supposed to wear those like a baggier short over if we're out in public now, to be able to do that, because we got to set the level of purity for that.
Yeah.
And so,
and I agree, because and I'll say, even though I don't have like a terrible body, I'm not a supermodel either, but it actually makes me feel uncomfortable wearing like regular bikini bottoms,
it's basically underwear.
Yeah, because you're showing everything, you're basically walking around in your bra and underwear in front of the world, and that's a strange feeling to me. And so now once you said that, it kind of made sense. And I was like, I would actually feel more comfortable in wearing like swim short bottoms or something, as opposed to the other, or a one piece suit or something to where it covers more of me up. And so I agree with what you're saying. And I think that, especially in society these days, it's just so normal, to wear the least amount that you want to wear. You go to the gym and they're wearing sports bras to the gym. It's like, when did that become acceptable? That we just flaunt everything we have. There's like leaving nothing to the imagination for your spouse, or respect of just showing your whole body to the world, as opposed to keeping that for you, yourself, and your husband.
And that's it. And I never thought I'd be in a spot to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
but it just shows that there's so, and I promise you guys, it's weird for me to say these things. There's levels to the game,
Yeah.
and every Christian will tell you that there's levels to this game. And so it's like you're almost a white belt, a blue belt, you purple belt, a brown belt, a black belt, and there's levels of black belt. And this is just true. This is the sanctification process that the Bible talks about, that we're going through the sanctification process, and this is more. And he's given us a platform to set the standard high in this. He is for us to be that standard setter for so many people in it. And so, guys, with that being said, we broke it down just on the walk. This is not something we were like, okay, well, let's make a lesson on this. No, like this is just was flying out in the moment.
Yeah, just conversation.
And so there's 5 ways dressing inappropriate impacts lives. So somebody might hear that and be like, bro, like my husband's cool with it and I'm cool with it. Well, the Bible talks about it is, if you cause it, a little one to sin, it is better to tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself into the sea. So basically kill yourself,
right,
if you cause somebody to stumble. And so it's not about just you, but it is about others. And so first, let's break this down. We're going to have to go a little bit quick through this because we have a meeting right after this. But the first one is it impacts yourself. Like Diane's saying, like it impacts her. But in general, if you find your self-worth in having to only show your body, I promise you in the moment, you might not think about it. And I know you work hard for it.
right.
I know you work hard for that. And it's not easy. But that doesn't give you the right to it. And I promise you, as a Christian man, and if you're a Christian woman, 1, you're blocking blessings in your life. But 2, even if you're a lukewarm Christian and you're just beginning and you don't understand that yet, later on, you will look back and go, I can't believe I did that.
Right.
So number 1, stop doing that. Right. Now, guys, I'm prefacing this. This isn't for you to tell your wife to stop. When I proposed that to you yesterday, what did I say? I said, I think this is what you should start doing. But I didn't say, Diane, you will.
Right. No, you would never tell me what to do, but you would maybe encourage me or just tell me what your thoughts are about it.
And I wouldn't have treated you differently.
Absolutely.
Had you said, I don't feel that way right now.
Right.
I would have gone through this process and let the Spirit finish speaking. And if you still felt okay with it, I would say, all right, well, babe, that's on you. I will still be with you. I still love you. I'm not going to change anything about that, but that's on you. And God will do what he's doing.
Right.
So first one is self. It impacts yourself. Secondly, it does impact the husband on that aspect of things. Is I don't want you showing it to the world. And some guys are like, well, that's insecurity and all those other things. Bro, I promise you.
He's not insecure.
I promise you that. I care less about any of that. If somebody's checking my wife out, oh, I'm insecure, she's going to leave me. No, bro, like I ain't even tripping on none of that. No. You just heard me say, I don't even care about sex. You know what I'm saying? Like on all of that other aspects, I'm not insecure, but it impacts the husband because now most husbands are insecure. They're not having sex with their wife. Right. They are wondering if she's doing things because their marriages are broke. Most marriages are broke. So that starts impacting your husband on these aspects and being like, I don't want her to show this to people. I've worked with enough men to know. I have a call with a guy today. That's his number one issue with his wife.
Right.
And so it impacts the husband. It kills. And the person I have a call with owns an 8-figure business. Very, 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 very successful guy. Yeah. Been on the Forbes list in like 30 under 30. Like dude's killing in those areas, right? Worldly wise.
Yeah.
So why is he so insecure? Because it impacts him, right? So it impacts your husband. Nextly, we got to move through this fastly. It impacts other men. You just heard me say, it's better if you cause any one of these to stumble. It's better to tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself in the sea, and that's why I don't drink. I'm not causing anybody else to stumble. Right. I'm not going to do anything that's going to cause anybody else to stumble. Right. Same thing with this. Women will think, well, that's on them. No, it's not. We're all in this together. We're all the body of Christ. You, me are all the body of Christ. It's not on them. It's not on them. You are helping. We are helping each other become better. Right. So if you are wearing something skimpy, and this, most are doing thongs these days, but
Right.
even if you're just wearing the regular one, I promise you, and this ain't even about just the pool. This is about what you're wearing to the gym, or
Hmm.
maybe you're out to a nice dinner
Yes.
and everything's hanging out and you get this super low cut skirt and everything's basically showing. I
Hmm.
promise you, it's hitting men.
Absolutely.
And then those men are now like, why does my wife not look like that?
Hmm.
Then they start thinking, oh, I want to have sex with that woman.
Right.
Then maybe they go home and they watch porn, looking at women that somewhat look like her, and they're searching for women that somewhat look like her. Or then nextly, maybe they're trying to have sex with their wife that night that got inspired by this other woman who turned
Right.
him on, and it's not their wife who turned him on. So then they're making a move, and there was no emotional or spiritual foreplay happening, and then their wife rejects them, and then they think, if that man, you were like that other woman, you're not as attractive as her, you're not that whether they're saying it or not, they're thinking it.
Right.
Then they go
Yeah.
masturbate. Then
Right.
they build up resentment. Then they build up rejection, which kills their insecurity. You're causing other men to be this way, and it weakens them. Then they cause arguments with their wife. So then it transfers to those men's wives, because now these men are bringing it to the wives,
Hmm.
destruction of them because of the rejection, the other things, or the wives are not good enough. Here's the thing. I work out incredibly hard. I take my diet seriously, my fitness seriously, my supplementation seriously, all of that. I'm in decently pretty good shape, but I will never be in, no matter what I do, as good a shape as some other people. They are just more genetically gifted in those aspects than I am. And that's just going to be what it is. Same thing for Diane.
Yeah.
She's never going to be certain people. She
Yeah.
works incredibly hard
Yeah.
and disciplined and all those things. Never going to be. Some people, no matter what, just have that aspect.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean you're obese by any means. You get down to a specific figure, but you may not just have the perfect six-pack ab
Hmm.
or the specific hip size, like all these other things.
Right. Exactly.
Because of that, women will judge themselves thinking that, and you're judging, my wife can't be like that. Why
Hmm.
isn't she like that? Thinking that we all can be like that. No, we all can't physically be like that. We can get close, but we can't be like it. Now it's impacting the wives. And I promise you, because my wife was one of them, self-worth is being ruined by other women. Not because I'm saying other women shouldn't be fit, put the time in, anything like that. Get it.
Absolutely.
Do your thing.
Right.
But flaunting it takes it to the next level. And the way I used it yesterday was like this. It's like standing next to a fire. You're going to feel the heat. Even if a girl who's in a modest clothes or then you're going to know she's a beautiful woman.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But take off another layer, you walk that much a little closer to the fire.
Hmm.
Take off another layer, you get that much closer to
Yeah.
fire. Being something super skimpy at the gym, now your hand is basically close as you can get to the fire, burning it. There's levels. Give ourselves the best chance to be as far as ways from the fire. It's going to happen, just even when it's super modest, but it's so much better than when it's just like, well, it's going to happen either way. It's not that big a deal. I'm just going to show it all because I enjoy it and who cares? No, you're impacting yourself, your husband, men, wives. And when you impact the husbands and wives of other men and wives, it's going to impact the kids. Now you're watching this marriage break apart because they're disconnected. They're getting rejected. They're insecure. They're arguing. They're fighting. They're not playful. They're not emotionally and spiritually connected. And because they can't even get emotionally and spiritually connected because they've been separated via all of this. I'm not saying it's only happened because of that, but it's definitely a nice, probably 10 to 15% in it. Big time, if not more, because the sex is everywhere these days. And because of that, you impacted all these other people. Can we not be self-disciplined enough and say, you know what? This is my cross to carry, because Jesus says, if you want to be a disciple of mine, you must is the key word. Stop going to a church that says, well, no, just give yourself grace. No, must deny yourself.
Yeah.
Must pick up your cross and must follow me. And follow me isn't going to church on Sunday and getting into a small group. That's as minimal as it comes.
Right.
It is doing everything. It's getting covered into his dust, mimicking every single thing Jesus does and carrying your cross. This might be your cross because you've been blessed with an amazing physical body and whatnot. Guess what? This is your cross to carry because the world's screaming, show it off. And God's saying, screaming, don't. Because he's warning you. Do not cause anybody else to stumble, because it's better for you to tie a millstone around your neck and throw yourself into sea than if you do that. He's saying it's better if you kill yourself than to do that. That's not the Jesus I know. I know it's not, because you don't read the Bible and you don't go to a church that preaches the real Bible. You go to a church that just preaches grace and love. And because of that, ask how your marriage is. Because of that, ask how you feeling about yourself. Ask yourself if you're this excited about Jesus. And the answer is no. You don't have no fruit. Because how do you get fruit? The Bible will tell you. by keeping with repentance.
Mm-hmm.
That's in Matthew.
Yeah.
That's how you get fruit, by keeping with repentance. That means you are always turning from your ways. What's your ways? The need for sex. And that will go away when you're not just staring at half naked chicks.
Right.
Let's fight this battle together, guys.
Absolutely.
Wives and men.
Yeah.
Set the standard. And men, I didn't have to tell Diane she had to do this. She fell into submission and was like, you're right, because I presented to this because the Spirit was speaking through me. The Spirit will only speak through me for one reason, because I'm sitting at the feet of Jesus.
Absolutely.
So, guys, I wanted you to leave with this. It's more important. Lead yourself so well that will go to that. And wives, if you're listening to this and that's you, I want you to be convicted, not because I wanted to go, ha ha, because God's given me a platform to help other people feel convicted, and myself and you, so we can help others out.
Yes.
So guys, we love you. We thank you. We got to go. It's because the meeting started 1 minute ago. We love you. If this impacted you, rate it 5 stars, give us a follow. If you want help, join an Elite Brotherhood, click the link below. Bye guys.